Good morning, happy viewers. This video is a deep thought about motorcycle repair from the initial struggle of the budget-conscious rider to the psychological breakdown of finding a lifelong mechanical partner. Finding an honest mechanic is as important as choosing a better bike. Then it's like a guide to motorcycle mariners. The smart survival on two wheels is finding the right mechanic when every dollar counts. To have a well-maintained and clean motorcycle without doing it yourself, you need to find someone you trust, having hands covered in grease and wiping them on a rag. Owning a motorcycle isn't a luxury for everyone. For many of us, it's our only way to get to work, to feed our families, and to stay mobile. When money is tight, you can't afford a brand new bike with a factory warranty. You have to rely on an older machine and, more importantly, on the person who helps you fix it. Today we are moving away from the shiny room. We are going to talk about the survival guide for the everyday rider. How to find, test, and keep a mechanic who respects your worth as much as they respect your safety. The search. In the beginning, you may get lost while looking at different shop exteriors, from higher-end dealers versus a small, dusty independent shop in a back alley. If you are on a budget, the big dealership is rarely your friend. Their overhead is high, and their solution to every problem is a brand new, expensive part. You are looking for the specialist in the shadows. Look for the small shops. Look for the places where the owner is also the guy holding the wrench. Why? Because an owner-operator cares about their reputation more than a corporate employee does. Ask around at the local gas station or courier hubs. Ask the guys who ride every single day for a living. They don't go where it's pretty. They go where it works. You aren't looking for a service manager in a polo shirt. You are looking for a person with grease under their fingernails who can explain a workaround that saves you a week's wages. The myth of just do it yourself can't be sustained when comparing a rider looking frustrated in a dark garage or on the street, surrounded by basic mismatched tools, to a professional shop with a high-duty hydraulic lift and a wall of organized, specialized tools. If you apply literally the dogma of DIY, sooner you stop riding because you spend most of your available time repairing instead of riding. Now you will hear a lot of people say if you are on a budget, you have to do it yourself. And look, DIY is excellent if you have the space, the gift for mechanics, and the spare time. But let's be honest, not everyone is a specialist. And for many of us, our motorcycle is too important to be a learning project. If you can do it better than a mechanic, then do it for a living. If you can't, follow this guide and choose an honest person to do it for you. Think about it this way. A professional mechanic has invested thousands in specialized tools, presses, diagnostic, computers, and calibrated torque, wrenches that you simply don't have in a kitchen drawer. They have the habit of the hand. They have felt a bolt right before it's about to snap 1,000 times. When you have no time because you are working two jobs, or you don't have a flat, lit garage to work in, forcing a DIY repair is a massive gamble. One stripped thread or one improperly seated seal can turn a simple $20 fix into a $500 disaster. There is no shame in admitting that your time is better spent earning your living while a professional ensures your wheels won't lock up at 60 miles per hour. Choosing a mechanic isn't giving up, it's an investment in certainty. Being less fortunate doesn't mean you have to be a mechanic. It means you have to be a smarter manager of the machine that gets you through life. The first meeting is the psychology of honesty. Try to be very attentive when talking to a mechanic the first time. Watch the body language, keep the eye contact, and follow him pointing at any parts or movement. When you find a potential shop, don't show up with a total engine failure. Start with a small job, an oil change or a chain adjustment. This is your interview with them. Watch them for 3 pillars of a good mechanic: the listener, the teacher, and the prioritizer. The listener, does he let you finish explaining the sound the bike makes? A smart mechanic knows the rider is the best diagnostic tool. The teacher, a caring mechanic, will show you the problem. They say your brake pads are shot. They should be willing to point to the wear indicator and explain why it's dangerous. The prioritizer. This is the most important for the budget rider. A great mechanic will say this needs to be fixed today for safety, but this other thing, it can wait 2 months. If they try to scare you into fixing everything at once, they might be looking at your wallet, not your bike. The used bike strategy: repair versus replace dilemma. A mechanic cleaning a part instead of throwing it away, compared to an aftermarket part box next to an expensive OEM, original equipment manufacturer box, deserve deep thought and sound judgment. On a used bike, parts are your biggest expense. A mechanic who cares about your wallet is one who understands the second-hand economy. Ask them, can we repair this instead of replacing it? Or do you mind if I source a high-quality used part from a salvage yard? A mechanic who is too proud to install a used part or a budget-friendly aftermarket brand isn't the right fit for a rider on a budget. You want the guy who knows which part must be original and which parts can be good enough to keep you rolling safely. Honesty here looks like a mechanic saying, I can't guarantee this used starter motor for a year, but it will get you back on the road for a third of the price. Keeping the relationship and be the preferred customer. The rider bringing a coffee to the mechanic or something equivalent in the interview's culture, or the rider washing the bike before a service is some small thing we can do to keep our best mechanic. Finding a good mechanic is only half the battle. Keeping them is the other half. Mechanics are human. They prefer working on bikes owned by people they like. First, clean your bike before you take it in. Nothing makes a mechanic grumpier than digging through layers of road grime and mud. It shows you respect their time and their tools. Second, be honest. If you try to fix it yourself and broke a bolt, tell them. Don't let them find your mistakes on your dime. Third, be loyal. If they did a good job for a fair price, don't haggle over a very cent. If you find a guy who keeps you on the road and doesn't overcharge, that relationship is more than a few dollars. Bring them a coffee once in a while. In the long run, being a preferred customer means your bike gets moved to the front of the line when you are in a pinch. In conclusion, the long road matters here. The rider pulling away from the shop, bike sounding crisp and healthy, makes the sunset and the night riding on an open road not only safe, but also a pleasure. The motorcycle is a freedom, but that freedom depends on mechanical integrity. You don't need to be rich to have a reliable machine. You just need to be observant, patient, and respectful. Find the mechanic who sees you as a person, not a transaction. When you find that person, treat them like a partner in your journey. Because when the sun goes down and you're miles from home, isn't the price of the repair that matters. It's the honesty of the hands that did the work. Keep riding, keep maintaining, and keep your head up. We will see you on the road, and thanks for watching.